Welcome. Cowboy fans and cowboy haters alike. I'm the G. Welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Got quite a few things to talk about today. Have a few of how many we catch today. Got a few things to talk about what Mike Fisher talked about this morning. I also want to deal with the issue about Jerry, what he talked about with Dak Prescott. I thought it was very interesting. Got some issues to talk about with Stephen Jones, kind of what he's talking about next year. I also want to talk about this whole issue of coaching candidates for the Dallas Cowboys. I think that's very interesting. And we'll be talking about a few of these articles on Athlon Sports. I think Mike Fisher and the guys have quite a few things that I think would be interesting for us to talk about. So as people kind of slowly come in, I've been off a couple of days, so I think it's kind of messing with my audience. Plus, I'm on a little bit late today. But we're about to get going. A lot of Cowboys news. A lot of Cowboys news. This Cowboys season has been so strange. I don't know if there's ever been a stranger season than this Cowboys season. It was like, first, we're in tank mode. We go from tank mode to all of a sudden playoff mode. And now it's like we're talking crazy again. I'm hearing whispers that people saying stuff like, Cooper Rush gives us the best chance to win. And there's a big debate going on right now about who should start this week. Should it be Trey Lance or should it be Cooper Rush? And when I hear the best chance to win, my question begins to be, the best chance to win what? What are we talking about winning? Are we talking about the team fighting hard and the team winning? Or, I mean, what are we talking about? Winning the playoffs? What are we talking about? Because I think one of the things that's got this fan base so livid, so lit, irate, just going nuts over the Cincinnati Bengals game. I think what has this fan base going nuts is that we actually believed. We actually believed we were going to the playoffs. I don't even understand that conversation. We were actually believing Michael Parsons saying stuff like, yeah, I think it's a chance. I mean, this run is reality. It was never reality. It was never reality for this team. Never. Once they hit 5-7, if you call less than 0% a chance, well, God bless you. I know we want to talk about mustard seed faith. But when you bury yourself 5-7, even if you beat the Cincinnati Bengals, even if you beat the Carolina Panthers, even if you beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm going to stop right there because I don't believe whether it was hook or crook, whether it was from Amani, number 27, doing what he did or some other failure. There is no way the Cowboys with Cooper Rush, there is no way the Cowboys with Cooper Rush were going 7-0. I'm sorry. Cooper Rush is not built like that. Cooper Rush has proven what he's built for. He's not built for more than 5 games. He's perfect for maybe 3 to 4 games, especially if you're at the right part of your schedule. If you're at the right part of your schedule, Cooper Rush can help you. He can maybe hold the fort down for 3 or 4 games. Your defense plays out of its mind. Your special teams plays out of its mind, meaning, as I said before, the formula for Cooper Rush. Defense plays out of its mind. They get you a turnover, touchdown, some of that stuff. And the special teams have to be special. Because if they make a mistake, the game is over. And that's exactly what happened against the Bengals. See, Cooper Rush, what y'all, and I'm not going to say y'all, but some of the Cooper Rush apologists. See, Cooper Rush was getting to make mistakes through all these games they were playing. He's getting to make mistakes. He was getting to throw interceptions. He was getting to fumble the ball. He was getting to have atrocious completion percentages. He was getting to throw for barely 100 yards. Cooper Rush is getting all of this. But everyone else has to be perfect. We're destroying Amani 27. He gets destroyed. But as I've already pointed out, no one wants to talk about what Cooper Rush looked like in that game. Nobody wants to talk about that. And no one's still talking about it but me. I've done a video on it, and I'm harping on it. The fact that even Micah Parsons thought this team was going on a playoff run with Cooper Rush tells me everything I need to know about how he feels about Dak Prescott. And I don't even know if it's necessary how he feels about Dak Prescott. I think some of it may be about how he feels about himself, that he would love to do it with Cooper Rush, because we all know in order for them to do it with Cooper Rush, it would have to be the defense. What else would it be? Because it wouldn't be him. It would have to be the defense. What's going on, Troy? What's going on, Daniel? It would have to be him. Daniel M. said, I just named off my top quarterbacks in the NFL, and Dak is on my list. Yes, sir. Throw me your list. Are you on X? You can just throw it on here. I'm telling us, it is absolutely crazy how people were thinking. And I think that's what's got this fan base in an uproar, is because we were believing, and I don't understand why were we believing this stuff? I mean, the way we were looking even in the wins, I kept saying it. I'm not the popular Dallas Cowboy content creator, because I'm not going to go along with the narratives. It was crazy talk. It really was. It's crazy talk. Time to get ready for next season. Yes, sir, Andre. And I've already been there. I've been in evaluation mode for like the last 4 weeks. I've been watching what we have. And that's why I think the greatest thing we lost in that game against the Beagles was Demarion Overshown. And it was a freak accident. It really was. He got rolled up on. Yes, sir. What's going on, Brother Dre? He just got rolled up on. It's terrible. I don't think that means he's going to be Sean Lee. That's yet to be seen. Sean Lee was actually suffering from soft tissue injuries and things of that nature. But Overshown is suffering from, it may be time to consider whether or not he needs to play that close to the line. Maybe they need to put him at safety. Turn him into a Darren Woodson type player. Because he's built like Darren Woodson to me. I think he could play safety. He's fast enough. My top 10 quarterbacks: Mahomes, Purdy, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Stroud, Hurts, Dak, Tua, and Lawrence. Let me see here. On your list, I like Mahomes. reluctantly, but I can't lie. Purdy has been good, and he's been great sometimes, Daniel M. There's no point in trying to lie. Josh Allen, he has to be in your top five or top 10. Allen, as much as I say he's a turnover machine, Allen, just based on ability alone, he is a freak of nature. Joe Burrow, I mean, for me right now, Joe Burrow is probably top 5. He's probably top 5 for me. Lamar Jackson, of course. CJ Stroud, I'm on the fence. Hurts, yes. Dak, yes. Tua, I'm on the fence. Trevor Lawrence, huge disappointment. Huge disappointment. I don't know if I could go. Ooh, man, Daniel, I'm struggling with Trevor Lawrence, man. I'm struggling with Trevor Lawrence. Man, I'm struggling with Trevor Lawrence. This dude has been nothing but a letdown. Nothing but a letdown. I don't know, man. You know what? I might even go with Kyler Murray right now over Trevor Lawrence. I'm serious. That's a good list you got there. But I might have to go with Kyler Murray. Now, this list right here they had through week 10. I just kind of pulled this up online real quick, Daniel M. And you're entitled to your opinion, so it's no big deal. No, there ain't nothing to trip on. They had Lamar, Kyler, Burrow. Oh, yeah, I'm taking Daniels actually, too. I'm taking Daniels for sure over Trevor Lawrence. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy. They got Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr. Ain't no world I'm putting him on there. You know what? Jameis Winston has played pretty good. I wouldn't put him in the top 10 this season. I'd have Matthew Stafford, though. Stafford has been playing pretty good, too. Hey, man, you know what? And this is what they're going by right here. They're going by QBR. All things as far as if you're kind of looking at the eye test and the record, man, Sam Darnold has been balling. Sam Darnold's been balling. Crazy, but he has. He's been balling. Yeah, but that's a good list. I mean, hey, it's your opinion. But me and the Trevor Lawrence thing, I can't do Trevor Lawrence. Marlon Brando, what's going on? Marlon Brando, man, I can't do. Lawrence over Love. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I can't go with Lawrence, man. Lawrence, man, I know people don't want to face it. Trevor Lawrence may turn out to be one of the biggest bust. He really may be a huge bust. Andre said you can move over Sean to the outside. Oh, over Sean to the outside linebacker. Yeah, yep. How about outside linebacker? I mean, let me see something here. I was wondering what he played with. I'm wondering what Darren Woodson's playing weight and height. So Darren Woodson, 6'1", 218. I bet you DeMarion Overshown is similar because they look like they have a similar build. I wonder what his height and weight is. Yeah. Overshown is 6'3", 220 playing weight. Woodson, 6'1", 218. Man, I'm going to tell y'all, I would seriously consider, if I'm the Cowboys, I would seriously consider getting him away from the line because he got rolled up on. It was a freak accident. I was seriously thinking about putting him at safety. I would. Because he could actually play like an extra linebacker. You know, whenever you wanted him to come close to the box, man, he could be a force in that run game. Troy, losing O to me was the worst thing that happened. I'm with you. It was the worst thing that happened this year. That game meant nothing to me. That game meant nothing. Overshown was everything in that game. What's going on, Roger? TME, what's going on? I mean, he was everything in that thing, man. Everything. Yeah, Stafford, Goff. Yep. And Geno been sneaky good. He was sneaky good. Yeah, I want Overshown. I think they might ought to consider. I'm thinking they ought to move Overshown. Yeah, I forgot we got a game tonight. You know what? I'm probably going to do a little short stint. I'll probably get off here about 7:15, and I'm probably going to have to resort to the late show. I've been doing some things, and I haven't been able to get on like I want to, but I'll be back tonight. Matter of fact, I'm going to do the late show tonight. I'll do the late show after the game, and then I'll be back to my normal time tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be doing my thing tomorrow. But I got a few things to talk about for sure tonight. I want to go over a few things before we get to the game tonight. I forgot it's the Rams, isn't it? This is going to be a great game. Rams at the 49ers. This is a huge game, y'all. This is a huge game. When you think about this game, tonight, the crazy thing is the San Francisco 49ers are not out of the playoffs. I mean, as slim as their chances are, they actually control a lot more of their destiny than the Cowboys did. So they're 6-7. I mean, a win by them tonight would basically catapult them, if I'm not mistaken, either to the 8 or the 9 spot. And so that's still going to put pressure on the Commanders, even though I think the Commanders' last few games, I think the Commanders are going to get to 10 wins. And I need to look at the playoff maker to see what would happen if they all wound up at 10 wins, who gets in. But this game tonight, man, the Rams always seem to have the 49ers, number, but I'm going to take the 49ers. I'm taking the 49ers tonight. Who y'all taking? I'm taking the 49ers. I think the 49ers will definitely pull it off tonight. Does Sam Darnold approve your team before quarterback point? Sam's got a great team around him. He does. He has a great team around him. And when you got great teams, all you need is a good quarterback. To me, that's all you need. Because he's a part of the great team. And he got some serious playmakers. Man, he's got some playmakers. Man, anytime you got Justin Jefferson, and now he's got another guy that's kind of doing his thing, man. I put Aaron Rodgers, he said, outside the top 15. I feel like Rodgers is close to being done. I'm thinking Rodgers might got one more season left. And Rodgers, he actually needs to be surrounded. He does. What's up, DAM Entertainment? Damn Entertainment. Welcome. Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. Not the Rams, I'm taking the 49ers. But Sean McVay got the Rams kind of going. And they always seem to have the 49ers number. They were actually thinking about changing their stadium name to Trevor Banks Stadium. Okay, who is that? I want to roll through real quick before we get off here. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize it. I forgot it was Thursday Night Football. But I do want to roll through because there are some interesting things Jerry Jones had to say on his weekly radio show with 105.3 The Fan that I thought was very interesting. And Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, they're saying some things, and I'm like, kind of who do you believe? Because it's like they're both saying different things. And so I want to look at DallasCowboys.com so we can kind of listen to this interview by Jerry Jones on The Fan. I think it's very interesting. And I think he had some very interesting things to say about Dak Prescott, which I was really surprised that he said about Dak Prescott, because I have not heard Jerry be so adamant about Dak Prescott as he was in this particular clip. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, I haven't heard Jerry be this definitive in a while as it applies to Dak Prescott. So let me see. Can I find it here? I listened to it the other day, and I was just blown away at how Jerry sounded in this interview. So let's cue this up real quick. All right, y'all give me a second. I'm queuing this up. I think kind of what happened is, give me just a second. Okay, now. So they begin a discussion about Dak Prescott. And I don't know if I've heard Jerry be this definitive about Dak Prescott as he's about to be right here. I was literally blown away because, a lot of times to me, Jerry kind of leaves a few things to the imagination when he talks about Dak Prescott. And it really makes you wonder, how does he feel about Dak Prescott sometimes? Well, you're about to hear Jerry puts everything to bed. He leaves nothing to the imagination. It's almost like you can see him smiling, and you can tell, he's kind of a little upbeat even though they got beat. But when he starts talking about Dak Prescott, it's almost like you can see the smile go off his face, and Jerry gets serious. Listen to this.
About evaluations that you have to make, and you've mentioned recently a number of evaluations into the future that you have with staff and players and personnel and things like that. Outside of just the wins and losses over these next 4 games, what are the types of things that you're looking for from those areas that you're evaluating over the course of this last month?
Well, first of all, let me be real clear. It's obvious our quarterback for the future is Dak Prescott. So we don't have to have guesswork about who's going to be our quarterback, number one. And so, number two, we will particularly be looking and have the opportunity to continue to look at these offensive linemen, get those snaps, get those reps. That's a big deal. And that should pay off for us as we go forward, because we've got about 3, possibly 4 young players that will really benefit from it. We've got a couple of young receivers that you'd like to see have the opportunity to get some more attempts and get some more catches. Those are the kinds of things you'd look at. Over on defense, We certainly was good to get our secondary back. First time we've had them all back there all year, and they played really well. That was a real test against that quarterback last night.
So I had.
And so you heard Jerry Jones. I just can't remember hearing Jerry be that definitive about Dak Prescott. He left nothing to the imagination. You know, because they had mentioned something about the quarterback before that. And Jerry just comes straight out. He's like, you know what, there is no evaluation as it applies to the quarterback position. Dak Prescott's the quarterback. So I really thought that was interesting. What's going on, Papa J? Yeah, I got the Niners tonight. 34-17. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, 34-17. He said I had Kyler Murray outside the top 15, but he's on the verge of making it out of the top 15 if he hasn't. Man, Kyler be, man. Aaron Rodgers looking like Nick Nolte out there. Man, I hate when guys like Aaron Rodgers go out like this. I do. P-Funk said, I've been a Cowboys fan since I was 5. Blessed to reach 65. Yes, sir, you are. I do with Jerry Jones, and I really do enjoy that. Man, Jerry was very definitive about Dak. Janie said, why is Jerry Jones keeping Cooper Rush and Trey Lance when I see any time? I don't know about some of the things that I see and read. Janie, how you doing? I'm not believing it. I'm not believing we're not going to see Trey Lance. I'm not believing it. I think that's what they're telling us, but I'm not believing it. I promise you, if the Carolina Panthers come out here and embarrass Cooper Rush, and I'm telling y'all, Cincinnati wasn't nothing, and they gave him problems. He was missing throws, and Cincinnati really barely got any pressure. Watch what happens when they play Carolina. We're going to talk about that tomorrow and Saturday. Carolina about to get after Cooper Rush. Carolina is about to get after Cooper Rush. And I'm hearing people saying stuff, oh, we're going to play this game for the Mariano Overshown. You know what? Your mouth can tell me anything. Your mouth can tell me anything. But these other teams and players are playing for stuff too. They are. And I'm not buying it. And I'm telling you, the Carolina Panthers are going to come to play. They have given the last few teams they played, they've given them nothing but problems. The Panthers are coming to play. They are. And I'm telling you, do not be surprised. Panthers are going to they're going to obliterate Cooper Rush. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to destroy him. They're going to destroy Cooper Rush. I will not be surprised if we see him against the Eagles and the Commanders. Trey Lance will I can't see. It will be crazy to me that if the Cowboys allow him to start the last 4 games. That'll be crazy to me. It doesn't even make logical sense. Because the reality is Trey Lance needs to be evaluated too. Because I believe they want him to be back as the backup. I don't think they want Cooper Rush as the backup again. We'll see, but I think they may try to. I think they may try to get Trey Lance again as the backup. Yep, Sam, I'm with you. They've destroyed the organization, and they're going to continue to at the rate they're going. If you're listening to them, P Funk said Cowboys would not win another Super Bowl under Jerry. Nope, guarantee that. When he got rid of Jimmy, I knew the Cowboys would not win another Super Bowl. And it's not just the problem with Jimmy. The problem is, he won't hire anybody else and empower them the way he empowered Jimmy. Jerry empowered Jimmy. Jerry allowed Jimmy to coach the team. He's not going to do it again. Or at least I say he's not going to do it again. But I think it's very telling, and we'll talk about this when we come back on the Late Show. I do think it's very telling. Y'all are kind of seeing what's going on. Deion Sanders. It started with Deion Sanders. Everybody was talking about Deion Sanders. I told y'all Deion wasn't coming here. Deion goes and signed one of the top recruited quarterbacks in the nation. He's got another top. He signed 4 more top recruits. Now, well, number 2, Ben Johnson sends out a manifesto talking about the stipulations of him being the coach at a team. And I don't care what anyone says. This could be aimed at the Chicago Bears. It could be aimed at the Carolina Panthers. But I think the biggest target that he was aiming this at was the Dallas Cowboys because Ben was hearing the talk. Organizational accountability and being in line as an organization. I knew then he was talking to the Dallas Cowboys. So now we got Ben Johnson off the table. Then Bill Belichick. Now Bill Belichick off the table, went to North Carolina. I'm shocked that he's on this thing. But nevertheless, he's on here. And now Bill Belichick's off the list. And so now the last, at least to me, the last coach that you would consider, to me, before bringing back Mike McCarthy, I think the last hope for the Cowboys is Mike Vrabel. I think he's the last hope. If it ain't Mike Vrabel, y'all, it's going to be Mike McCarthy. And I don't think Mike Vrabel's going to do it. I don't think Mike Vrabel will do it. Because I don't think Mike Vrabel is going to come here and allow the Cowboys to do what they want to do. Quiddy King said, no comment about Punk Jerry Jones. I don't think he's going to do it. And so what we're looking at is Mike McCarthy is probably going to, and I've been saying it from the beginning of the season, even when they were going through that crazy 5-game losing streak, I've been saying it. I don't see, or I didn't see, Mike McCarthy until Mike McCarthy cleaned out his office and there was a press conference. I was not believing that Mike McCarthy was no longer going to be with this team. And Mike McCarthy right now, boy, he seems to be giddy. Like he knows he's going to be re-signed. Daniel Williams says, plus on top of that, the weather in Carolina is supposed to be really bad, around the 40s and rain. Whoa. So basically, this needs to be about establishing the run game early and often. Well, Rico Dowdle has already proven if you give me the ball, I'll tear this thing up. Troy says there's zero upside to not playing Trey the rest of the way. I mean, I'm with you, Troy. I mean, what's the point of, we know what Cooper Rush is. 2 touchdowns, 20-point average for the offense. Defense plays out of its mind. Special teams have to be special. No one can make a mistake. We know what he is. They're not evaluating Cooper Rush no more. The evaluation process is done for Cooper Rush. We know exactly what he is. But you got Trey Lance. Let him play. But I also think that he may be afraid to let him play. What's going on, Kevin Howard? Good to see you. He may not let him play because he may be afraid if I let Cooper play. If I let Trey Lance play and everybody sees maybe he does have some skill. Maybe he is this, maybe he is that. Jerry don't get to bring him back on the cheap. So we could be watching that. Just Rob says, if the question is still there, I don't trust either one of them. You know, Jerry, if you listen to Jerry talk, Jerry seems to be a lot more optimistic because I'm still saying I believe the Cowboys are going to win the chip in 2026. Despite what as bad as these guys are, I think the closer they get, and I am not ruling out the Dallas Cowboys right now. The Cowboys are at number 12 in the draft. I am not ruling out for this team. I am not ruling out for this team scooting to number 10. I'm not ruling it out. I'm not ruling them out of number 10 because I am not going to be surprised if the Cowboys don't win another game. I'm not. I mean, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way, but I'm telling y'all, man, Demarion Overshown was a blow to this team. He was a blow to this team because he has really been their most consistent player and their best player on defense all year long. He's been that good. And people watching him prepare, watching his energy on the practice field, then that translating onto the playing field. And then when you think about how his faith is, no matter how you believe, but he's got a lot of optimism and things of that nature. Even that, no matter what you believe, it's infectious. And so Overshown is a huge blow to this team. Now, we're going to see because they're talking about moving Mike up to linebacker. They're talking about moving him to linebacker, and we'll see how that works. Not sure if that's going to work because even with Overshown out, he wasn't playing linebacker against the Bengals. So what's going to really change that? You know, that's someone else. If you don't want him to play linebacker, they'll probably look at that as that's someone else that we can evaluate back there. So I won't be surprised if they put somebody else back there. And so I'm not really sure what they're going to do, but I won't be surprised if this team don't win another game. And so if they stay at 5, you never know. Man, I don't know. I say you never know. I'm going to find it hard for the rest of these teams. The problem is for the rest of these teams, I find it hard to believe that the rest of these teams can win a game either. Without looking at their schedules, of course. I probably could go back and look at their schedules and see. And I'm actually tripping that Jacksonville backup quarterback comes in and wins a game. And so maybe we could see a scenario where maybe the Jets could win a couple of more games. Maybe the Browns could win a couple of more games. I don't see nowhere where the Bears can win another game. But I think the Cowboys, because the Saints have played pretty good, I think the Bengals haven't given up on that last seed, which is going to be almost impossible, I think, to get. But I think the Bengals think they can maybe make a run and get in there and get a chance. So I won't be surprised if the Cowboys move up maybe 2 more spots. But I think the closer they are to the top, the better the draft is going to be. It'll be harder to miss on some of those people. That's going to put them in the area that if they want Genty, or if they want the guy from North Carolina, or if they want some of the guys from Ohio State. I mean, being at number 10, even 11 and 12, it's going to really give them some options. There will be some great players on the board when the Cowboys draft. In the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd, there are going to be some good players. And I hope they don't go back in there and start trying to do O-line and stuff like D-line and stuff like that. I mean, they've done enough of the O-line and D-line and it hadn't worked. It's like the guys who they're not drafting at the top are playing better. I think you have what you have. Let's continue to tweak it and work with it and make that line. Maybe you do something in free agency to show up the D-line. But I think the Cowboys in the first 3 rounds, all skill positions. Unless Abdul, I think his name is Carter. Unless Abdul Carter is still on the board when you come up. And I think you got to it'd be hard for me to pass up on him knowing I could still get me a good running back in the 2nd round and still probably get me a good to great wide receiver in the 3rd. So it would be hard to pass up Abdul Carter, especially with everything going on with Demarion Overshown. Janie says if it's for Cooper Rush to take a seat it's time for him to sit down. We know what he is, Janie. I mean, there's no more evaluating Cooper Rush. It's not. Robert said, I've been a fan since 67, saw the tail end of the Don Perkins career. Wow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Daniel says, with Belichick going to the Tar Heels, I don't know about y'all. The Belichick thing shocked me, but it didn't shock me. We might not want to be honest with ourselves, but I'm going to tell you the cold, unadulterated truth. I don't think he had any buyers. I don't. I don't see a coach that is supposed to be of his ilk. I don't see him going. I don't see him going college. And especially, and I'm not knocking down the North Carolina Tar Heels. I mean, I don't really follow college football like that. But I am saying, I just don't see a pro coach going to college unless, for me, it's a Georgia. It's a USC. It's a Texas. It's an Alabama. It's an Ohio State. I mean, I'm not leaving the pros unless I'm going to one of those. Because I promise y'all, Deion Sanders will be at that level in the next 3 years. Colorado not going to be able to hold Deion Sanders. And Deion Sanders is going to do to them what he did to that HBCU team, Jackson State, I think it was when he left there. All those recruits that he's bringing to Colorado, and whatever he brings to Colorado before he leaves, they're all going with him. I think Deion's going to go to one of those big schools. I do. Because I think he's going to probably find himself in the college football playoffs in the next couple of years with some of the recruits he's going to be bringing to the team because of the atmosphere that he creates around the team. And Deion will probably be at one of those big schools. But I'm saying all that to say, I'm just shocked at that Bill Belichick. I'm shocked that he went to North Carolina. And for me, I'm with you, Daniel. I think that McCarthy, I've been feeling like this, but I'm especially feeling like this as the dominoes continue to fall off the table. The dominoes are falling off the table. And because the dominoes are falling off the table, I think it's going to put the Cowboys in a situation to where they're basically going to be left with, they're not getting Ben Johnson. That domino is off the table. So the Cowboys are literally going, what would be better than Mike McCarthy? I mean, some of us are probably saying anything. Some of us are probably saying anything. But the reality is, who could you bring in? Mike Vrabel. I really like Mike Vrabel. I do. But who could you bring in other than Vrabel? Who could you bring in? I like Vrabel's mentality. I really like Vrabel. He, to me, would be the guy that you could bring in that could make a difference. But other than him, who could you bring in? Who could you bring in? I just don't know if there's anybody left. I just don't think there's anybody left that could really come in here and work with the Joneses like this. Because I don't know if I want to see the Saleh guy. From the Jets. I don't know if I want to see him. He's a defensive-minded coach. I don't think you have to worry about the defense. You already got Mike Zimmer here. You already got even Al Harris here. Because Al Harris, I have a feeling that I wouldn't be surprised if Harris is going to be the next DC. I wouldn't be surprised. And maybe, because you know what? The Joneses don't pay their coaches, whether we realize this or not. And I've talked about it already. But the Joneses don't pay their coaches. They're not in the top. They're not even mid-pack in being paid. Andre Moses, what's going on? Yeah, Kellen Moore. I think he's going to be a candidate. But he'll just be more of a yes man. McCarthy's getting a 10-year deal. He get a 10-year deal, Dex. He said he get a 10-year deal. What's going on, Michelle? Stephen Jones get on my nerves. If he put the effort in the team instead of the cap, maybe we go to the Super Bowl. This man, everything he's saying lets me know why this team makes terrible cap moves. Wild Boy says, I know the Cowboys don't like Michigan players, but if cornerback Will Johnson or defensive tackle Mason Graham gets to us, they are worth a look. Sincerely, a Michigan Wolverines fan. Hey, they're probably going to give this kid from Michigan, not the cornerback, but I think the defensive tackle, I've been hearing that they may give him a look. Daniel said, if Moore the head coach of the Cowboys, he won't get us to where we want to go. I don't think so either. I've been watching since 1970. Lewis Bailey says Jerry's evacuating Cooper Rush. His contract is up. I personally don't believe that he's worth one more cent. And I think Jerry has realized something, Lewis. He ain't talking like he was talking before. I mean, he been saying a few things. Yeah, Cooper played. Nah, Jerry, you know Cooper didn't play good. And his stance on Dak Prescott is really telling for me about how bad Cooper Rush is actually being. I think Jerry Jones is Cooper Rush made him even go, Dak is really important to us. Revelation, Jerry sure did empower Dak. I said the same thing. I was like, I haven't heard Jerry speak definitively about Dak Prescott like that. And so I'm glad he did. You talking about Rico getting the ball against the Panthers. He's their only chance to win. He really is. He's their only chance to win. This dude could have ran for 200 yards against the Cincinnati Bengals easy. That defense had no answer for that dude. They had no answer. Robert M31, what's going on? And as much as people keep talking about it, and I've already made a video about it, they can talk about this kid. I call him Anton Amani 27 because his name like kind of twist up your lips and your teeth. I mean your lips and your tongue. But Amani 27, I'm sorry, I'm not blaming him. I'm partially blaming him because he did ruin a great defensive effort. But at the same time, the defense had no answer because, again, to me, I think Mike Zimmer called an awesome game. But the pinpoint accuracy, Joe Burrow's ability to eat pressure burned these Cowboys cornerbacks, including Deron Bland. They had no answer for Jamar Chase. And I told y'all before the game, I mean, it's not like I was speaking anything that you couldn't see if you've been watching Jamar Chase this season. The Jamar Chase that Trayvon Diggs saw was not the same Jamar Chase that he saw in 2022. And Diggs was not the same cornerback that Chase saw in 2022. They're both going in the opposite direction. Diggs got the bag and declining. Plus, he had an injury. I'm going to put that in there. Jamar Chase is chasing the bag, and he's on the incline. That dude is telling them, y'all finna make me, I'm getting paid more than CeeDee Lamb. And he's making a very good argument. You're going to pay me more than Justin Jefferson. Robert M., I'm not fooled by McCarthy's play calling. He called a great game for a great quarterback. But for Cooper Rush, his last 7 minutes or his last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter was atrocious. They had no answer for Rico Dowdle. They had no answer. I'd have ran Rico Dowdle until his ankle broke. 131 yards on 18 carries. Hey, Rico Dowdle, you're about to put this game away. I'd have been telling them before when we got got to the fourth quarter. I'd have told them, hey man, put Rico on IV right now. We need to put him on IV because he gonna need all the energy he can get. because we about to run his shoes off. They haven't stopped him all day. Surely somebody should have told him, hey, Mike, do you realize Rico Dowdle on 18 carries? He already has 131 yards. They have no answer for him. He put the ball in the hands of Cooper Rush, which I didn't mind at all because I wanted the whole world to see what Cooper Rush is. This is the same Mike McCarthy who is still reluctant to run the ball. He's very reluctant to run the ball. Yes, I pointed it out, Robert M. Did anybody notice the fourth quarter, 5 minutes left? Dowdle gets a nice run, 14 yards, might I add. He ran 3 straight passes. And even when they got the ball back, no one's talking about the fact the defense had an opportunity to stop the Cincinnati Bengals after they recovered that punt. They failed. They got the ball back with 1 minute and 1 second to go. 3 timeouts. They could have easily still ran the ball with Rico Dowdle. Plenty of time. The Bengals had no answer. I bet you they could have ran for more yards than Cooper Rush was going to throw. And then you make Cincinnati come up and respect the run. Because by that time, you're probably going to be in their side, on their side of the field. And by the time you get there, now you can do something. Kenny James, I've been a Cowboys fan since I was 5. I was in high school the last time the Cowboys was Super Bowl. I'm 46 now. It's embarrassing how they messed up this great team. Yes. Alex. Appreciate the super chat. Alex said in the first round of this draft, should the Cowboys draft a running back or wide receiver? Also great content, G. Appreciate you, Alex. Man, I'm not torn. I'll be honest with you what I would do. I'm going to check and see who wants Ashton Jeanty. If I'm anticipating Ashton Jeanty being on the board, when it comes to me, and I think that Ashton Jeanty, and I know Ashton Jeanty is on the board, I'm going to tell you what I've already done. This is me. Everybody don't think like me. So this is one of them issues where I'm giving my opinion. But I'm going to tell you what I'm doing and what I've already been doing, Alex. This is what I've already been doing. I'm looking at Ashton Jeanty. He's the number 1 ranked running back, 92.5. But you know what else I'm looking at? I'm looking at the conference that he's in. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the competition he's running against. I'm looking at, Alex, the amount of carries that he's getting. Let me put Alex back up here. Appreciate it again for the super chat. And I'm looking at all of this, Alex. I'm looking at the 5'9". I'm looking at everything. The 4'4", 240, the 215, he's a load. He's a load. This is a big dude, man. To be 5'9" and 2, and hey, he's a big dude. Low to the ground, that pad, I mean, he's the real deal. I guarantee he's the real deal. But I'll tell you this. I'm also doing my homework on this guy right here. I'm looking at Omarion Hampton for North Carolina. 6 feet, 220, 4'4", 440. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at Caleb Johnson. 4'5", 225, 6 feet. I'm looking at this. I'm going to tell you who else I'm looking at when you go down the line. I'm looking at these guys. And this guy right here, I'm looking at Travion Henderson. I'm looking at him 5'10", 4'3", 40. I'm looking at Quinshawn Judkins. I'm looking at all of this. I'm looking at all these guys. The Penn State, Nicholas Singleton. I love the 4'3", 940. I'm looking at all this. All this. Alex, if there's a team that I can trade back and I can get an extra first-round draft pick, I can get me an extra first-round draft pick. Maybe they see Jeanty like that. Maybe they want him so bad, they see him as Generational, I'll give up my first this year, and I'll give you another first. You get my first, move to where I am, and then I'll give you my first next year. Or I'll give you my second in this draft right now. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. And so what I would do, I would look at, do I want Hampton, or could I settle for Caleb Johnson? Could I settle? And I kind of want my running back to be in the 200-pound range, you know, that 210. I like that range. And definitely I'm looking at the 40. I mean, this Dylan Sampson, he's 5'11", 435, but he 190, a little slimmer running back. I want one of these bigger running backs so I can, goal line, all that stuff. If I could then get a wide receiver first, I'm actually getting a wide receiver first. I think CeeDee Lamb needs a counterpart. I think CeeDee Lamb needs a wide receiver that is that good. I do. I believe he needs a wide receiver that is the counter to him. He needs somebody, and when we look over here, I think he needs a bigger body receiver opposite of him. And the guy who I would like to have, I'd like to have this guy, McMillan. He's 6'5", 212, and what impresses me is 6'5". Catch radius, Alex. That's what I like. Catch radius. And I promise you, if you ask Dak Prescott, he'd say the same thing. Notice what Jerry said about Jonathan Mingo. He's Dak Prescott friendly. What are you talking about, Jerry? Have y'all noticed? Everyone that they pretty much have playing other than CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb is not a big guy, but they're all short. They're short. The Brandon Cooks, short. Tolbert, not too short, but Tolbert doesn't strike me as a guy with a catch radius. He doesn't look like he's got a catch radius. Like, hey man, if I'm a little bit high, he got it. If I'm real high, he go up and get it. If I'm a little too far to the left, he got it. Right. You want a catch radius. And when you're talking about a 6'5" guy, catch radius. Small cornerbacks can't match him. The Jordan Lewises of the world can't deal with him. Jordan Lewis, very good slot cornerback, but he's a small guy. I want a guy that's going to win battles against small cornerbacks. And if you look at these cornerbacks that the Eagles have went out and got, in particular the Eagles, you better go out and get you some big body wide receivers. You better go out because they will be the perfect complement to CeeDee Lamb because he's the finesse wide receiver. So I would literally, if someone wanted Genty, and I know they wanted him, and I only got to move maybe 4 or 5 spots back, and because I don't think these guys right here, these wide receivers and running backs, minus maybe McMillan and Genty, they won't be gone off the top 10. Maybe those two, but no one else. So after that, I start looking at what's left. And so for me, I'll trade back. I'll take this guy right here, Trey Harris. Oh, I'll take him. 6'3", 210, I'll take him. I'll take him in a minute. Now anybody's already listened to me, you already know. I don't like the short wide receivers. So while I've heard a lot of people talking about the Luther Burden III, I don't want a 5'11" receiver. I don't want I don't. No. If you give me a choice between Burden III and Egbuka here, if that's how you pronounce his name, 6'1", that's 2 inches, but it's still a bigger catch radius. This dude a 4'3", 40. That's all I need, 4'3", 40. And he's only ranked 0.1 behind Luther Burden. I'm going wide receiver first. That's me. I'm going wide receiver first. I think CeeDee Lamb desperately, because if not, we're going to kill CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb will never be healthy unless we go get another bona fide threat. We have got to get this guy another bona fide threat, a bona fide clutch third receiver. And I'll tell you this, if I'm the Cowboys, I would let go of Tolbert. I know some people might not like that. I would let go of Tolbert. Tolbert gone with me. I'm thinking they might get a compensatory pick for him if they let him go. I'll let Tolbert go, or I'll trade him. But Tolbert, he gone. Jalen Brooks, cut, gone. Brandon Cooks, he definitely gone. I'm not doing anything else with his schedule. He's got a great work ethic. He's a great guy. He's a little too small. I'm done with those three receivers, but I'm keeping Ryan Flournoy. And this is my 4 wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, number 1. You fill in any one of these guys right here. Any one of these guys you want to, Alex. Any one of these guys right here, they're going to be number 2. They're going to be number 2. Any one of these guys right here, whatever you want, they're going to be number 2. The guys who I mentioned, Mac Millen, the Trey Harris, the Egbuka. I'm going for the guys with the catch radius. So those would be my top 3 choices. I'm going catch radius and speed. I hadn't watched a lot of college football, but I'm just looking at this guy from Stanford, Ayo Manor, 210, 6'2", 4'42". No, big catch radius, speed. I want that. They're going to be my number 2. Flournoy and Mingo will be my 3 and my 4. Kevontae Turpin, interchangeable. He'll be my interchangeable per se 4. Or he'll be my gadget guy. I'll line him up in the backfield. I'll do anything I want to do with Kevontae Turpin. He's going to be my X factor. I'll line him up in the backfield. I'll put him in motion. Anything I want to do, Kevontae Turpin, he's also going to be on my field. And like I said, I'll interchange between Mingo because we've already put a 4th on Mingo. Mingo ain't going nowhere for me, especially with the money they have him on. Mingo is going nowhere as far as I go. Mingo is not leaving this team in 2025. We've already got the 4th round draft pick on it. We better see what it is. But that's what I would do, Alex. I'm going wide receiver. In the 1st round, 2nd round, I've already given up Genty. Now I'm going running back. 3rd round, y'all can do what you want to. I'll be relying on some of y'all for what y'all tell me about the draft because I can tell a lot of y'all follow college football more than I do. I'll be relying on y'all as we start talking about that. But I'm not talking about the draft until we get past this season because, man, this season to me is just too much. Too good. Because I got my evaluation hat on. And so I really want to see how a lot of these players develop because the one good thing that we've noticed over the last few weeks, here's what I know. We got some players on the offensive line. Anybody disagree? We got players on the offensive line, guys. We do. We got players on the offensive line. Rico Dowdle. I'd been saying it before everyone was talking about it. I was screaming, this dude should have been the starter. Guess what? We got a solid 1-2 punch. Rico Dowdle for me is the 2. Because I'm about to go in college and I'm going to get me one of these running backs that's tearing up the field. I don't have to have Genty. That's what people don't understand. You don't actually have to have Genty. If you want him, get him. I won't be mad at you. Because you'll still be high up in the 2nd round if you want to go get one of these one of these wide receivers. One of them will still be here. I'm sure they'll still be here. But for me, I think right now with what Rico Dowdle has shown us, I think it's more important to get CeeDee Lamb's counterpiece. And we will still be able to get a very good running back. Because y'all remember what happened last year. I mean, a lot of these guys were not going in the early part of the draft. So I'm pretty sure I can get the running back. I can get a very good running back even if I don't get Genty. They're going to have a great shot in the second round because I'm telling you, I'm not passing up a great wide receiver because look at CeeDee Lamb. He's a first-round draft pick. I'm not passing up a great first-round wide receiver because to me, I think the wide receivers are harder to get. The Justin Jeffersons are harder to get. The CeeDee Lambs are harder to get. The Jamar Chases are harder to get. But you can get running backs sometimes that people didn't think they were really that good or they were close to those guys at the top and then they come in the pros and tear it up. So I wouldn't be hurting if I didn't get Genty. But I definitely want one of these top wide receivers. I want one of them. We better not sleep on Carolina. The Panthers are 3-4 playmakers away from being, yeah, they're going to be good. For sure, and they're going to give us everything we can handle. All right, guys, it looked like we're about to reach the kickoff if we already haven't. So what I'm going to do on y'all is I'm going to check out, let y'all go watch the game, eat your nachos and tacos and pizza and wings and whatever else you do. And then I will be back post-game show. We're going to have the Let's Talk Cowboys post-game show. And we'll talk about the game tonight. We'll talk about the playoff ramifications. And then we'll get back to the Cowboys because that's our team. What's going on, 70s fan? I'll be back tonight. Robert M., Daniel, Buddha, what's going on? I'll be back tonight. D-Block, 88, what's going on? I'm going to let y'all watch the game. I'll be back tonight. You said Vrabel. Yeah, he's the last to me. Real fan 1. Yep, that's the question. Will he want to come to the Cowboys? And that's the question I've been asking. Aaron D., what's going on? It's going to be McCarthy. Yep, until Witten is ready. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised Jerry brings Witten on. Put him on the staff even. Put him on the staff. You know why? We'll talk about it tonight. Jerry got visions of grandeur in his head because he's looking at Dan Campbell. But he better recognize something. Dan Campbell is not Dan Campbell without that GM. Dan Campbell isn't Dan Campbell without that GM. Without that OC, without that DC, without the players they're putting around him. So they're going to have to put some players with Witten. And it's the only way he's going to be successful. Gee, I tried to focus on Cooper Rush in the bingo games. All you have to do is watch him. He isn't good. Nope. I've been saying it. I've been saying it. So, Cheyenne, what's going on? Tight end like Bowers would open up new horizons for this offense. All right, Bowers. Okay, I'm going to look him up because I'm sure you're talking about somebody in the draft. Wicked says, y'all want to see how good a franchise is run? Tune into Hard Knocks AFC North and see how the Steelers operate. You know what? I'm not going to disagree with you. Great ran franchise, Wicked. I'm still debating on taking you up on that offer, man. If I had the time, I might do a Steelers channel. Boy, it'd be hard for me. But they are in the AFC, so I won't have to betray my Cowboys to do it. Yeah, the old line's looking pretty good. But hey, guys, I'll be back around 10:15, 10:30. I'll put a notification out there. Y'all hit that like button. Hit that notification bell so you'll see that notification as I get ready to come back for the late show. Post-game show tonight. Rams, 49ers. Y'all enjoy the game. Peace.